Alrighty, I got it pulled back and gassed up, ready to start again. So I just raised it up just to bring it back. I haven't set the next height. We're gonna do an 1.5 inch board like that. And we'll press enter. Should be 1.5 inches. That looks about right. Get her revved up. We got water going. Come into the log slow. And we can speed it up a little bit. Now we are cutting a wider cut, so I'm not going to push it near as hard as when you're cutting 5 inches or 6 inches. Give the blade a little bit of time to get the material moved through there. Oh, forgot my bucket. That's been filling up about every second cut on the mill. Go a little faster than that. With a power feed, you just have to listen to what your mill is saying to you. Try not to push it up against the bearings any more than you have to. Cut it. I'll probably make 2 more cuts. I was looking at the wood. Still looks pretty good. It starts getting very hairy, and I know my blade is starting to get dull. And I'll probably save these 2 boards for a project that I got going on where I need a 9-inch wide board. And I'm not worried about any weighing on it. So it'll give me a pretty good board for that. Should have got the air gun out and blowed a little dirt off of this thing. Button to raise it up, because we set that height here, come back over the top. So I'll get that board off, and then we're going to turn that log again. 35 horse seems to backfire a little bit if you throttle down too quick. I don't know if that's indicative of a 35 or if it's just mine. Anyway, we'll get back to you. Okay, we've got the log sighted on 3 sides. We're up to our last side. This is where I'm going to get into a little bit of calculation mode. Now I've set the mill to 13 and 19/32, and I want to see how many 2x6s I would get out of that. Now, I'm not sure if I pushed a memory here. So that set the memory. We get clear out of that. So let's do 1.5 inches and then times, and it gives me a number up here that says 8. That 8 says there's 8 boards in there underneath of it. So if I push enter, and that's 8 boards from where I'm at. So I could take off 1.5 inch board and then flip it sideways, because it's 13 and 9/32. That was a perfect set. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take the cut there, take 1.5 inch board that I can cut into a 2x6. I'll have to cut the wane out of it, so it'll have to get edged. And then I'll be able to flip it sideways, split that log in half, and then flip them back up and cut them all into 2x6s, and it should work out to the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's why I kind of like using SetWorks. It allows me to kind of calculate out and get the most lumber, because you're not going to have 2x6s in that top one, but I can get 1.5 inches out of it. And I know that I left it at 11 1/8 wide. So if we put the tape on, it's 11 1/8 wide, and I'll be able to cut 2x6s from this point all the way to the bottom. And then once I remove this top, the top board, that will get rid of pretty much all of the wane. So let's start her back up. We'll get our 1.5 inch board. Get our water going. That's a little bit much there. That's about right. What we want dripping. Get her revved up. We want a real slow attack. And we can wind it up a little bit. And I plan on, after this next board, I'm going to change my blade. I've been through a little bit too much dirt with this one. And I've had a couple waves where I went through a knot. Nothing, there's only a couple spots, not all of them. So I know I'm getting there. Saves a lot of energy not having to shove the mill, especially on a hot day. We're probably in the mid-high 70s right now, which up here in the Northwest is warm, quite warm. Makes me want to go down to the river. I just pushed that button to make sure I had that height stored. So once I clear far enough, I can get that board out of the way. Push that bump up button. We'll start the mill in reverse. I'll finish getting the board out of the way while the mill walks itself back. I get a hold of it. I give it more speed now. we've got to there. Now I've got 1.5 inches already programmed into it. I only need to hit that. Whoop. We have to raise it back up and find ourselves again. Uh, 13 5/8, push memory, do 1.5 inches. That's a 12-inch cant after that. Now I'll walk through that one kind of slow because it's 10 1/8 through, or 11 1/8 through it. And after this, I'll bring it back and I'll go through a blade change. I'm not going to record a blade change. There's videos of that. It's kind of easy enough to do. Two covers to take off, and I take off a panel on the top of the blade that just says Hudson on it. I just need to remember this is 12 high. And if I lost my height, it may ask for something different, where I have to take off a wasteboard, maybe a 1 inch. Give it a little more speed. It is kind of acting like it's getting dull. One of the signs is how hairy it gets on the edge. I don't need to take this board off because I had it on memory.